Imperata cylindrica, commonly known as blady grass, kogon grass, koʊʻgoʊn, kunai grass, ʻkuːnaɪ, or Japanese bloodgrass, is a species of grass in the genus Imperata. It is placed in the subfamily Panicoideae, supertribe Andropogonodae, tribe Andropogoneae. It is a perennial rhizomatous grass native to East and Southeast Asia, India, Micronesia, Melanesia, Australia, and Eastern and Southern Africa. It grows from 0.6 to 3 meters tall. The leaves are about 2 centimeters wide near the base of the plant and narrow to a sharp point at the top. The margins are finely toothed and are embedded with sharp silica crystals. The main vein is a lighter color than the rest of the leaf and tends to be nearer to one side of the leaf. The upper surface is hairy near the base of the plant while the underside is usually hairless. Roots are up to 1.2 meters deep, but 0.4 meters is typical in sandy soil. Cultivation and uses. It is used for thatching the roofs of traditional homes throughout Southeast Asia. It is planted extensively for ground cover and soil stabilization near beach areas and other areas subject to erosion. Other uses include paper making, thatching and weaving into mats and bags. It is used in traditional Chinese medicine. A number of cultivars have been selected for garden use as ornamental plants, including the red-leaved red baron, also known as Japanese bloodgrass. Young inflorescences and shoots may be eaten cooked, and the roots contain starch and sugars and therefore easier to chew. It is used as an ingredient in the skincare brand Kiehl's since 1851 ultrafacial cream for its high concentrations of potassium, which provides an immediate and lasting hydrating effect. Helps skin to store and retain moisture efficiently, even in the driest weather conditions. Quote, the website also states that indigenous native Australians may have used the plant as a substitute for salt due to its high saline content. Weed problems. The plant has become naturalized in the Americas, Northern Asia, Europe and Africa in addition to many islands, and is listed as an invasive weed in some areas. In the U.S., it survives best in the southeast but has been reported to exist as far north as West Virginia and Oregon. Worldwide it has been observed from 45 degrees north to 45 degrees south. It grows on wetlands, dry lands, areas of high salinity, organic soils, clay soils and sandy soils of pH from 4.0 to 7.5. It prefers full sun but will tolerate some shade. In Florida, cylindrica is found in areas where the soil has been disturbed, such as roadsides, building sites, timber harvesting areas, and burrow pits. It is able to invade both moist and dry upland pine forests. Once established, it often forms dense monocultures. In addition to outcompeting species for resources, the grass also exhibits allelopathic tendencies. The chemicals it releases, as well as the dense mat of vegetation that usually accompanies a kogon grass invasion, gives it an advantage over indigenous plants. It spreads both through small seeds, which are easily carried by the wind, and rhizomes, which can be transported by tilling equipment and in-soil transport. In the southeastern United States, state governments have various eradication efforts in place, and deliberate propagation is prohibited by some authorities. Control is typically by the use of herbicides. Currently, the most effective herbicides used to control growth are glyphosate and imazapyr. Burn-off is seldom successful since the grass burns at a high temperature, causing heat damage to trees which would ordinarily be undamaged by a controlled burn, and recovers from a burn quickly. Quarantine and extermination of this plant is especially difficult because kogon grass is establishes root systems as deep as 4 feet, and regrowth can be triggered by rhizome segments as small as 1 inch. Kogon grass is difficult to contain mainly because it is highly adaptive to harsher environments, establishing itself on soils low in fertility. The grass also can grow on sand and clay, and consumers of it are few. The grass tends to be averse to dense shade, but reports indicate more shade-tolerant strains are developing. The legume vine Mucunia pruriens is used in the countries of Benin and Vietnam as a biological control for Imperata cylindrica. Flammability. Anecdotal and empirical evidence suggests that types of this grass are quite flammable even when apparently green, particularly in Southeast Asian climates. It is not uncommon to see hillsides of kogon grass on fire. A common expression in the Philippines is ningas kogon. It is a figure of speech for procrastination, specifically people who show a fervent interest in a new project but lose interest quickly, in reference to the propensity of kogon grass to catch fire and burn out quickly. Phytochemistry. The plant contains the triterpenoids aranduin, cylindrin and ferninol. Taxonomy. Imperata cylindrica was first described by Linnaeus in 1759 under the basionym Laguris cylindricus. They were renamed by the French entomologist and botanist Palisot de Beauvoir to the current accepted name of Imperata cylindrica. Synonyms include etymology. From Spanish kogon, from the Tagalog and Visayan koʊɡoʊn. Common names. Other common names used in English include alang, kogon, cotton wool grass, imperata, urak,